Hello, friends. I am Monica Nagpal from Hope and Happiness, and it is my mission to help each person tap into their inherent potential of being happy and hopeful, and thus lead a fulfilled and meaningful life. And in the current series, From Ordinary to Exemplary, I'm speaking to women who have become exemplary by tapping into their feminine power. And today I welcome wonderful Nigar Jokar.
Thank you.
Welcome, Nigar. So sweet of you, so nice of you to come and join us here. So I will give a very brief introduction and then she will take over. So Nigar is a Hyderabadi, she says, and she's a biryani lover, and she's a photographer, a bibliophile, and a movie buff. And her life mantra is karma and dharma. She will explain all that. And she has become naturally old and consciously wiser of what she was 10 years back. And this is, she says, her biggest achievement. So welcome once again, Nigar, and please tell us these mysterious things which you have written. Please throw some light on these mysterious things which you have written.
Thank you so much for having me. I really find honor in being one of the people that you chose to speak to today on this platform, and I am here because I think somewhere I align with your purpose of hope and happiness and among people, and making everyone aware of that. So to give you a little brief about myself, my name is Nigar Jokar. For all of you who do not understand the meaning of my name, it means sweetheart in Iranian. So moving on, I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. I was in boarding school for a major portion of my life, and I also moved out for about 3 years. I was studying in Bangalore, and then I got back. So in terms of exposure, I would say I've got a decent amount of exposure because I've been living away from home for over 15 years now. And I completed my MBA from Hyderabad itself, after which I started a job. It was my first job into the corporate world, and I think about 6 months into the job, I realized that this is definitely not for me. At least the work or the culture that I was working in, I realized it was not for me, and I had to move on. And I moved out, and I was working in Bombay for about a year, after which I had to come back to Hyderabad for some family reasons, and then I continued working here. So I think I believe today I'm the sum of all the experiences that I've had over the years, all the people I have met, all the situations I've been in, all my family relations that I was born with. I think that has made me the person I am today, and I am very grateful that I am alive today and I've had those experiences.
So what has been your greatest learning? Like, what is that change? What brought about the change from that? What was that inner thinking that you had at that time that you wanted to switch over, and what is that you had in your mind at that time? Please.
So for the longest time, in my brief, when I mentioned that I think I'm wiser than who I was before, I feel before I was living in a bubble where you're young and everything comes to you. But I think over time I have realized that we are a part of a very big pattern that we cannot imagine. And everything that is meant to happen is meant to happen. वो बोलते हैं लिखा हुआ होता है सब कुछ. So I had to make a few choices, which when I look back at that now, I realize that hadn't I made those choices, I wouldn't have been here. For example, when I came back from Bombay, I was looking for a job, and I was just not in the perfect state of mind. I have had some great friends who noticed that I am decent at photography, and they pushed me into pursuing photography and making videos. So I started doing that, but somewhere in my mind I was not at peace, and that is when I had an option of a well-paying job versus a job that I'm currently in with Amazon, which is not so well-paying, but it was something that I wanted inside. So at that moment, I did consult with my family and with my friends that should I go for that job, which I do not want to do, but it's better paying, or should I go for this job? And everybody pushed me to taking into this job. And at that moment, I just, for the first time maybe in my life, I closed my eyes and I was like, okay, this is what is meant to happen and I'll go with it. And I've completed over a year in this job now, and I like to believe that I'm doing pretty well at it. And also side by side, I am getting enough time to pursue my hobby. I like to go out and I like to take photographs. Like, that is my first love. Photography is my first love. Apart from that, I also do make videos and I post it on my YouTube channel right now, with the sole purpose of sharing how I'm conducting my life. Although I wouldn't say I'm conducting it perfectly. There are still a lot of improvements that I know I need to make, from as small as sitting right or eating right or whatever. But besides that, I just share whatever books I read, or if I'm having some form of an exercise or healthy lifestyle, I try to share that on my channel. Or if I'm making something, I share like my cooking recipe. So it's a very basic lifestyle vlog that I'm right now conducting. And if I have to tell you that one incident that really changed everything was actually this lockdown, as cliche as it may sound. It was during this lockdown that I went and stayed with my sister for about 2-3 months. I hadn't seen my parents initially, and I used to just video call them. And that is when, I think that incident got me closer to my parents than any incident or anything had ever in my life. I realized, talking about karma and dharma, this was when I realized that there are certain things that you need to do when you come on this planet. And dharma, when I talk about, my parents are my biological, they got me into this world and they gifted me with this life. And I have some dharma towards them, and I fulfill it by doing karma, doing the things that need to be done, if I put it very simply, with good intentions. And the biggest thing that you have mentioned, with hope. Yes. Hope is the biggest gift.
Yeah. Wonderful, Nigar. Oh my God, that small little girl, and such profound philosophy behind that. So wonderful. I really appreciate that. So wonderful. So what has been your learning from this? Like, okay, this is a learning that whatever you're born with, you have to give. And you had this intuition, to take this kind of a job, which is from the Amazon and not from the one which was paying you very well. So that is also intuitive power which you used from your instincts, and you started to come for this. Yeah. So coming to now, what has been your most learning experiences from, as far as you have taken the decisions based on your instinct, based on your intuitions?
So my learnings, I would say that right now it is very important to see things as they are, I believe, without being free of a judgmental mind, although it is difficult. But I think when put into practice, I think it makes life very easy, and you just flow with life after that, and that's the most wonderful thing to do. So that's I think my biggest learning, that just see things as they are.
Very good, wonderful. So again, now coming to the most important point which we are discussing here is about the feminine power. So do you think the shift in the job would have been mostly because sometimes we feel when we are working in the scenario where more of the masculine energy is used? It is not the masculine, we are not talking about any feminist movement here, we are not talking about females and males, we are just talking about the archetype feminine energy. So do you think in your job environment there was lack of that feminine energy which you felt, and that is why you were able to come out of the job?
Definitely, I think definitely like you mentioned, all of us have both feminine and masculine energies inside us. Females have more of feminine energies and vice versa for men. Uh, uh, the job that I was in was hardcore sales, and I somehow I could not relate to it. Like I could not. I just couldn't sell something that I was not believing in, if I have to put it in a line.
Right. Absolutely right. So what do you think that, what is that feminine strength of yours? What is that feminine strength of yours that will help you to keep afloat in the days to come, in any circumstances in your life? What is that feminine strength which will help you hold on to that? What is that?
I think the power to see things neutrally, the power of understanding. I think over time I have what I have recognized with my feminine energies are that I am developing an innate ability of understanding a situation and looking at it in the most accommodating way, and in a way adjusting to the situation. And at the same time, if if I find something wrong, rather than just jumping right back at it and revolting, maybe going in a more orderly way and approaching a problem in a better understanding way. I think that will probably help me face some situations in life, hopefully.
Yes, it will be. So when we are working from our feminine power, it will absolutely keep us afloat in any circumstances which we are facing. And I feel, and I can have a word from you also, that if we are really changing this world scenario which we are all facing, maybe this is a resultant of the masculine energy which has become prevalent. And it is not only the males, it is the feminine, like the females who have actually gotten into this, you can say, goal of female has gotten into the male energy, like being a boss and wearing those pants. So they feel that power, that yes, we are in power. So do you think that you can give a message to the young girls now, that how to use that feminine power to really be happy in their life? And probably successful also. Yeah.
I think one message I would give everybody is that that all of us are one, and everything that you do, you are naturally related to everybody and everyone. So I would ask everybody to just live a happy life, to inspire people to do the right thing, and to all the females out there, I would say that although physically we may be a little less stronger than men, mentally, scientifically, everything, mentally it is known that we are equally capable, and right now is a world of opportunities where everybody is getting an opportunity, no matter what gender you belong to. So you can make use of it. It is a golden era, they say, the era of digitalization. Make use of this to spread the right message and also to live a sustainable life, because our planet is really at a risk right now. And even if everybody does small changes in their lifestyle and stands up for themselves and stands up for this world, I think we can make this a better place to live in, like it was probably many years back.
Many centuries back, you can say, not years back.
Yeah.
It's important is that nurturing feeling. So what you are feeling for the world, what you are feeling for the nature, is that nurturing instinct, which is a very, very feminine energy. So if all of us, either of any gender, if they start to have that kind of a a nurturing instinct in them, then we will start to nurture each other. We will not start to be against each other, but we should be more collaborative in doing whatever we are doing. So we become more contributive instead of competitive. So that is what is most important. And as girls, you can also feel like when girls together, like in a more collaborative form, in more togetherness, which was there in a lot of years back. Girls and women were more in collaborative, and slowly that competitiveness came in, and then we lost our feminine power. So to really reclaim that feminine power which we had, we can always go and have that power through our feminine energy. So yes, Nigar, thank you so much. So what Nigar has said is that we have to work from our feminine power, and we are going to launch our program which is called Devi. And the Devi is going to emerge in Navratras. The program is going to be launched in Navratras. It is called Dynamic Emergence of Visionary Intuitiveness. So in this program, we will be able to bring out and reclaim the feminine power which most of us have lost. And we will be able to bring out this in a way so that we can help the society, we can help the world to become a better place for our future generations. So thank you so much, Nigar. It was really wonderful speaking to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.